Well,
Hello everybody, welcome to Jason's channel, and this is a video about why WWE may have released Braun Strowman.
here we are again, my friends, with a very weirdly edited Simon Miller at What Culture Wrestling HQ, What Culture Towers, call it whatever you want, bringing you some late night information, some late night news, some late night speculation, because the wrestling world will never ever let us sleep. But yes, Braun Strowman, along with a lot of other very talented WWE wrestlers, has been released. And we're talking about Buddy Murphy, we're talking about Santana Garrett, we're talking about Ruby Riott, we're talking about Lana, and we are talking about flipping Aleister Black. So it's just a list of names that make you go, what the flub? But I think the one that took us most by surprise was the one and only monster among men, Braun Strowman. For one, he was like a Vince McMahon project come to life. I mean, not only is he huge, but he turns heads in airports. And how many times have you seen a Vinnie Mac interview when he talks about that? But also, when you go through his WWE tenure, he has always been pushed. I mean, a year ago, he was the Universal Champion, and 2 weeks ago, he was the #1 contender for the WWE title. And sure, we could have capitalized on him better when he was smashing Roman Reigns into an ambulance. But if we were going to be right dickheads and make a list of, who's going to get released from WWE next, I don't think anybody would have put Braun Strowman on there, because it's just nuts. So why has this happened? Well, here's why, potentially. Now, all the reasons these wrestlers were given for their firings were budget cuts, and if we go back to the summer of 2019, Braun Strowman was renegotiating his deal, which was about to expire, and because he understood his worth, he ensured he got a big old bumper pay rise, with some even saying it was north of $1 million. And good for him, we should all do that. You should always believe in yourself, and you should always believe in your ability. Of course, as soon as you do mention budget cuts, a lot of people's eyebrows go up, because right now WWE is making more money than ever, so this comes in a twofold scenario. One, they do want to get their bottom line down, so they're looking at contracts. Who's got the biggest one? Well, we'll let them go. But two, there is this nagging rumor that refuses to go away that maybe, just maybe, WWE is consolidating because they want to sell the business. And as we know, the company has been owned by the McMahons since the dawn of time. So if it were to be bought by a Disney or an NBC, which seems unfathomable, it would blow your brain. But if that was in your sights, not only would we do what we'd just done, but you'd also go behind the scenes and you start merging departments and letting people go there too. And what happened recently? Everything I just said. Further evidence of this is that if Vince McMahon was planning to do it, all of a sudden, you wouldn't really care about what talents you did release, because the whole reason they were signing people up to massive deals is because they didn't want anyone to go to AEW for obvious reasons. But if you're about to wash your hands of...
That is true. That apparently there's rumors going around that he was signing a lot of wrestlers to multi deals because he didn't want them going to another promotion. That's true.
the wrestling business, why would you give a hoot about All Elite Wrestling? All you would care about is getting your overheads down as little as possible, so when you do sell it, you make as much money as you possibly can. And don't forget, that's the real reason why this wrestling war is so important, because it means more cash goes into the wrestlers' pockets. Damn it, they deserve it. This has absolutely happened before, and it will absolutely happen again. And all of a sudden, terms like New Japan or Ring of Honor or Impact Wrestling, you're like, I don't care about any of that. I just need to get my books in order. So where do we have to start? This is now being debated by people much smarter than I online, such as Brandon Thurston and Dave Schilling, and I implore you to go look at their work, because they both have a for and against, so we really don't know what the hell is going on. But if it's not about selling the company, somebody may have lost their damn mind. Because Strowman is such a WWE guy, I think that alone would get some traction, where you'd be like, well, what the hell is he going to go do now? And imagine him somewhere like New Japan. They love big hosses that just run wild. If he had the right mentality and the right focus, he would truly smash it. And if we go to the other side of the coin, and all this sell talk is absolute nonsense, maybe it just comes down to the fact that Nick Khan, who is now Vince McMahon's right-hand man, is just looking at things and going, hey, we have too many names on our roster, and we should just get rid of some. I mean, if you're not going to use them, I suppose you should let them go, but you cannot convince me that we weren't going to be able to find something for Braun Strowman. I kind of get it for Buddy Murphy, and we'll talk about him a little bit, but that wasn't his fault. He was in a relationship with Rey Mysterio's daughter, and then he literally vanished off the face of the planet. I mean, what do you want to do? Just storm onto TV one day? I don't think people are going to like it. And all of this can be applied to Aleister Black as well. Like, if he had been released a few weeks ago, it would have been horrendous, but we could have understood it, because again, he hadn't been used on TV. But we just paid for a bunch of vignettes, and he interfered in that Intercontinental Championship match and started a feud with Big E. And now from a kayfabe television fan watcher point of view, it's just gonna stop. So all of that does tell you that these aren't plans that were long in the works. They have been decided recently, and they have been decided quick. Black has already mentioned online how blindsided he was by this as well, and how couldn't he be? And I guess another thing we should bring in here is that does it tie into the fact that WWE is returning to touring? Do they have to put more money in there? So they have to take more money out of somewhere else? Once again, I understand that logic, I'm just guessing. But also, I just don't think you release this type of talent unless you do have a very specific goal. Ruby Riott was also a real shame because she was never given a chance. And not only does she have like a badass reputation because everybody loves her, if you're just sat there on a Friday night and you're flicking through the TV channels and you see somebody like Ruby Riott, for at least a few seconds you're going to stop and say, well, I wonder what she's going to do, and that is the whole point of wrestling. She's also a really good professional wrestler, and I hope she goes to AEW because she could actually bolster that women's division. And as for Buddy Murphy, I'm just going to keep both my fingers crossed that he goes to New Japan. Do you know how good he would be in NJPW? He must be one of the best wrestlers in the world that for some reason can't get consistently on television. I also feel really sorry for Lana, even though she doesn't need it or need my sympathy. But if you've been following her journey online, she has been busting her ass trying to get better and trying to find a new role for herself. And this is how it ends, or at least within the WWE. So she was seemingly doing everything that her job asked of her, and she was still let go, and that absolutely sucks. And she should just go to AEW if the opportunity is there, and she should re-team up with Miro, because that pairing was just gold, and it should never have been split up to begin with. We had Rusev, we had Lana, they were kicking ass, they were driving tanks at WrestleMania. Also, you could then maybe plan a program where it is these two taking on Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford, and we already have the story for that, so it makes sense. It really was Braun that made me do a double take though, because I genuinely thought he was going to be a WWE lifer because he's such a Vince McMahon project, and as we have seen in the past, those do not die lightly. Fair play to Strowman though. He posted on social media that he was grateful for his opportunity and he had a wild ride. And also, the man is absolutely massive. And while professional wrestling as a whole has moved away from that everyone has to be a certain size, you're never going to move away from giants entirely. Somebody is going to want him and he will fit like a sock in a shoe. No one's ever said that ever, but I couldn't remember the original pun. All of the best to these guys, though, and I know there's always that one comment that says WWE is allowed to hire and fire whoever they want, and that is certainly true, but it doesn't mean it's not sad, it doesn't mean it's not upsetting, and it doesn't mean I don't want them to go and flourish in other endeavors. Also, if nothing else, all of these people I have mentioned have brought me hundreds of hours of entertainment, so the least I can do is sit here as I'm sweating because it's so damn hot, and say thank you. When I put on wrestling, all I want to do is enjoy myself, and once more, all of these individuals have contributed to that. I mean, Braun Strowman, for goodness sake, flipped an ambulance, and ambulance flipping is something I need more of in my life. But it is going to be absolutely fascinating where they do end up, and I will end this video by saying, even if every single one of them goes to AEW, good for them. I am tired of this rhetoric of AEW's hiring too many WWE people and they're like TNA. This doesn't happen in any other walk of life. If you have an employee that you think can help your company, you bring them in. You don't worry about some stupid trend that started years ago with TNA. There's also been a few rumors that maybe more releases are coming, but we don't speculate on that because that would be really awful of us. And instead, once more, we keep our fingers crossed and hope that's nothing more than a murmur. Now, please do leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about all of the crazy events from today. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Again, if you do want to keep up to date, you can do that on whatculture.com. You can come say hello on social media, and we have plenty more videos. Give one a click if you just want to be distracted for the next few minutes. My name is Simon from What Culture. Thank you for joining me as always. Hopefully, we'll never have to do a video like this again, but I doubt that is true because once more, that's just the crazy world of wrestling, and you never know what is around the corner. Good luck to all of these people. I hope you absolutely smash it. I'll see you on the next one.
Alright guys, what do you think about him explaining about why WWE wrestlers got fired? He's just giving his opinion, but what do y'all guys think about it? Of those recent wrestlers being suspended or being fired? Have a good day.